Several fire agencies responded to a 2-alarm structure fire in Cave Junction this afternoon. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Samantha Cadera. Let's take a look at pictures from that fire in the 6900 block of Holland Loop Road. The Illinois Valley Fire District says they were on scene alongside Rural Metro Fire, Grants Pass Fire, and AMR of Josephine County. The call lasted over 2 hours, but the investigation remains ongoing. And multiple Oregon Department of Forestry crews are on scene of a 12-acre fire this afternoon southeast of Wolf Creek. Oregon Department of Forestry says they got a report of the fire, then confirmed it on their detection cameras around noon today. Crews already have the fire fully lined at 12.5 acres. Excuse me, but crews remain on scene to mop up and investigate the cause through the weekend. I reached out to ODF, who told me fire risk doesn't disappear in the winter.
You know, even in January, we live in a very fire-prone area, and when we see these stretches without rain, without snow, even with freezing conditions, that really all works to dry out the vegetation that we have. And so when there is a spark, fires start a lot more easily than I think most people realize.
Now let's check in with Storm Alert Weather 12 meteorologist Sarah Kress. It's dry, but it's also cold. This is kind of interesting.
Yeah, we are expecting to see very cold temperatures overnight, and that dry air is actually helping with it. And I want to talk a little bit about that dry weather. Like Natalie just mentioned, we are seeing those dry conditions continue on even into next week. We've seen a little bit of expansion to our drought monitor this week, and we're more than likely going to see it expand a little bit more because we are going to stay clear of those wet conditions even into next week. I'll touch on that in just a bit. But looking out at radar and satellite, we are seeing clear conditions across the region. Now, looking at those high temperatures today, we saw lots of sunshine, including the Grants Pass area, who was able to make it up to about 55. In Brookings, we had a high of 65 today. Klamath Falls, you're at 49, and Montague up to about 56. Now, clear skies, dry air, we're seeing those temperatures drop rather quickly. We're at 49 for Medford, 36 over to Klamath Falls. Brookings still a bit on the warmer side, and then we have 46 for Wairika. Temperatures are going to continue to tumble as we head into those overnight hours, and it is going to be rather cold by tomorrow morning. We can expect the lower 20s for our west side valleys, even dipping into the teens for some. East side, we'll see the lower teens and even some single digits for those lows. So you're going to want to be extra cautious with those overnight hours, especially when it comes to your pets, plants, and of course your pipes. And we did see a little bit more of a mixing in the air today. Winds picked up a bit, especially for areas along the coast and east side. Your current air quality is looking pretty great as we switch over into those overnight hours for most of the region. And speaking of tomorrow, we'll still be dealing with a little bit more mixing into our lower elevation areas, and we will be seeing some sunny skies continuing into tomorrow. So high temperatures do rebound a little bit, so we won't be stuck with those cold temperatures throughout your day. Now, into the coming days, we are expecting to stay dry, like I mentioned, but we will see clouds increase Sunday, and that weak system we are tracking on Monday, it's not looking too promising. So I'll have some more updates on what you can expect with that wet weather, and of course a look at your colder temperatures throughout your night coming up in your next forecast.
And with those freezing temperatures expected tonight, the Mobile Integrative Navigation Team, also known as MINT, is opening its cold weather shelter to provide a safe place to sleep, with hot meals and important supplies. MINT is opening its warming shelter again tonight as demand remains high this winter. The organization has activated the shelter multiple times and says beds have been nearly full each night. Guests can also bring their pets, and the executive director told NewsWatch 12 that MINT has been able to provide dog jackets to keep them warm.
We've opened 5 times so far this winter season. This will be the 6th and 7th, and we have filled up with a total of 75 people. Almost every night, animals are welcome, and they get a hot meal, hot drinks. We do have supplies that we can provide to them to help in the cold weather, and then a lot of people will come in just to get supplies and then go back out.
And MINT operates 2 locations, Parker's Place and Newman Church on Northeast B Street, serving up to 75 people overnight. Even when beds fill up, staff say anyone can still stop by for food, coffee, and cold weather supplies.
Good people. They're volunteers. They help, and they give their time to help people that are in need. Forgive me, my hands are frozen. Other people on the street will run homeless people over.
Shields says after losing his car last week, he's been moving between temporary housing and sleeping outside, relying on blankets and community support to stay warm. He told NewsWatch 12 that access to warming shelters like Mint can be life-saving when temperatures drop. And Access is also opening a shelter tonight, offering 64 beds for Medford residents to escape the cold. Beds will be available on a first-come, first-served basis beginning at 5:30 tonight. The shelter will provide warm meals, beverages, and have pet food available for any non-aggressive pets. And fencing and barricades are coming down as public access returns to the Ashland Creek area after 6 months of construction. The city says the site will look much like it did before construction with some noticeable changes. Access on U.S. Forest Service Road 2060 will return to its previous configuration. The Wonder and Wasabi trailheads will also return to their original locations. Final engineering, permitting, and bidding are expected to be complete this fall, when the 3-year construction will begin. Southern Oregon Sparrows Clubs is pairing its 2025-2026 Sparrows with schools across the Rogue Valley. And for one school, that partnership hits especially close to home. NewsWatch 12's Grace Ritz looked into how Eagle Point High School is rallying behind one of their own.
Picture an athletic, well-liked, kind-hearted high school junior who pours everything he has into his sports. That's David.
I just think he's like a hard worker. Even when he wouldn't get the most playing time, he was always there, showed up to practice, and he would go to all the games. He was just like really dedicated to his sports.
But on September 24th, while at soccer practice at Eagle Point High, he got a horrible headache and began to vomit and was rushed to the hospital.
I didn't even know what aneurysms were up until this point. We found out that he was born with it, and as he grew up, those things were growing, and they became weaker and weaker up in the brain. And it was random. This whole thing happened randomly.
After multiple surgeries, David is on the road to recovery, and he's not alone. Southern Oregon Sparrow Clubs is helping his family ease the financial and emotional burden.
We're all about kids, helping kids in medical need. We will then place them with a school, endearingly adopt them to that school, elementary schools through high school, all throughout Southern Oregon, and we're going to challenge them to go out into their community, do community service. As they do that, they will unlock sponsored funds and help that specific sparrow go through their medical journey.
And that school is Eagle Point High, the school David calls home, where friends and teammates know him well and are quick to rally around him.
He's one of our own. He's a popular kid. Everyone likes him. He's an athlete. I feel like that really just made everyone realize, like, wow, we can really help him. Like, we know him, we can really help him. His family will be like closely knit with everyone, and they'll appreciate it a lot more.
David's cousin says family members and teammates visit as often as they can, and they're seeing that same determination he brought to his sports, now driving his recovery.
He does the little grip thing, and we play a lot of Uno with all my cousins and everything.
The whole school is happy to rally around David, but his team says they miss not having him on the field or on the mat.
I know all fall it really weighed heavily on the mind of our soccer boys, knowing that he was one of their own and was going through what he was.
Reporting in Eagle Point, I'm Grace Ritz.